Truth is, at some point, we are all going to die. Back in a research study conducted by Finder in 2018, they found that 1 in 2 of us didn't have a valid will in place. As you know, I'm an insurance nerd, and along with insurance, wills are one of those things that we typically don't like to talk about. Even though we all know the importance of a will, it tends to be one of those things that we keep putting off. So today, I wanted to share with you the 3 broad ways that you can get a will to help get this important task off your to-do list once and for all. The first way of getting a will done is to do it yourself using an online will kit. The second way to get this done is what I've called a done with you or a hybrid model of getting a will. And finally, there's the traditional way of going through a solicitor, which I'm calling a done for you service. To make it easier for you, I've timestamped each of those sections and you can jump ahead if you need to. As always, everything that's been mentioned, the links are available in the comments below. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and I'm the founder and head insurance expert here at True Pride. On this channel, I share videos that help simplify the world of insurance to make it easier for you. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and be notified each time I release these videos. You can see that there's a massive increase in the number of searches for how to get your will online. Not only is there this level of uncertainty that's going on at the moment, but we all tend to have a little bit more time on our hands to get onto some of these life admin tasks. My hope is that this video will help you to understand the different options that are available to you to get your will done. Now, I know that you're smart, and if you're watching this video, I hope that it brings together all the information that you need to know about the different options for getting your will sorted. You will then be able to make the decision that works best for you and your family after considering each of the options that are available to you. So firstly, let's have a look at that DIY will kit option. The DIY will kit is the most basic and cost-effective option available to you. A quick Google search will bring up a few different options of providers for this basic will. Now, I've had a look at the offering from the state trustees who offer a DIY will for $31.50 or a will and power of attorney bundle for $61. To get started, it's pretty simple. Simply enter your basic details for setting up an account, pay the money online, and then you'll be able to download the PDF version of this will for you to start completing this. There's also a guide that's available online for you to start using as a reference when you're looking at how to complete this will. This is a valid and legal will if completed correctly, but there is a couple of things that you should be careful of. I had a look at the Morris Blackburn website, and just a bit of a caveat, I'm sure they're trying to upsell you into a more tailored will option, but they highlighted 4 key options for you to be careful of when doing these DIY wills. The first of these was trying to give away assets that you don't own. The second was failing to comply with basic legal formalities, such as the witnesses signing in different coloured ink. The third was overlooking the fact that circumstances change. A will needs to be drafted to take into consideration these future changes. Fourthly was forgetting to appoint an executor. Now, whilst this DIY kit is the most basic of the will options available to you, you do have the ability to draft up a legal will, which is much better than nothing. If you've got a really simple situation, such as it's just you, you've got some basic assets such as your house or your super fund, or if you're not comfortable using an online system like the hybrid models that we'll share in a second require you to do, this basic will option might be the best solution for you. So let's take a look at this hybrid will offering, or the done with you service. This hybrid model is almost like a supercharged will, if you like. The questions that you'll be asked online are built by a solicitor to give a framework that gives you a valid legal will. These online platforms have been set up, and a series of questions will guide you through what's required to set up your will in line with your intentions. You'll generally have access to chat support, but this is not a service that offers legal advice when it comes to the structuring of your will. I've had a look at 2 of these offerings in detail. I've looked at Willed and SafeWill. Willed is an online service with this chat support, which offers you an online will for $159. When I was completing the online questions to prepare my will through Willed, completing the online questions with Willed was really simple and took me about 5 minutes to do. To help understand a little bit more about Willed, I interviewed co-founder Aaron Zelman to share a little bit more about how Willed as an offering worked.
So I've been a financial advisor myself, focused on life insurance for many, many years. So I've seen an obvious need. I'm a diligent sort of person. I got all my wills done through a lawyer the traditional way years ago, but there hasn't been a simple way for the average person out there, average adult who has kids and a mortgage, etc., to get things done in terms of a will in a cost-effective and quick manner. I've seen a growing trend overseas. There's been some standout players overseas who have done a great job. In fact, about 1 in 10 wills in the UK are now being done online. Okay. So it's time to bring that trend to Australia and make it as easy as possible. So For the last year or so, we've been building the software to make it a very smooth, clear process. And that's what we have today in will.com.au.
I think there's the Will Kit, which is your real basic entry-level one, $30. And I spoke about that a bit earlier in the video. But I guess the biggest difference that I see between that and what you guys offer, there is some guidance from a solicitor, and it helps overcome some of those key things that are missed from that, being signatures not matching, no executor, that sort of stuff there too.
That's right. I mean, a will kit is prone to errors because you could just leave sections out, and therefore it's going to be invalid just from the get-go. It's also just a bit tedious to write everything out. These days we're sort of happy just to put our details online very quickly. So it's prone to error, but I mean, it can be a valid will, no question. It's a bit like going out and getting furniture from eBay or from what's left on the lawn somewhere. Yes, you've got furniture in your house and it's cheap. That's okay. But I would view what we call the hybrid model as more of a lawyer designed, a bit like an IKEA, where you have designers, industrial designers, making sure that the products are really great. And then the consumer comes in and gets a very easy to use product that's efficient and quick to assemble most of the time, not if I'm doing it. But the IKEA model really gets a great result. And then obviously with a lawyer, you've got a more complex process. It can be fantastic. It'd be like getting a furniture designer and a furniture builder, custom made, etc., to do it. And for some people, that's what they'll need and want. But most people really just need to get a will in place. And this is sort of the IKEA model of that.
The second of the hybrid models that I looked at was the offering from SafeWill. These guys are another online service which offers a will for $190 as an individual or $300 for a couple. Again, completing the online questions when I did this was simple and fast. I did find that the SafeWill offer had a couple more questions, particularly around pets and specific assets. Again, to give you a bit more context of the SafeWill offering, I spoke with the founder and CEO, Aaron Lubofsky, to explain a bit more about the SafeWill offering.
So we started SafeWill early 2019 and went to market at the end of last year. And the reason why we started it, so there was a personal story. A friend of mine passed away without a will, and it got myself and my co-founder trying to work out what this aversion to will writing really boiled down to. We realized that it was three main things. It was sort of effort, cost, and a taboo of thinking about mortality and planning for it. And so we wanted to design a platform that was easy to use, that empowered people to write their will how they wanted to at a low cost and in a really sort of friendly, emotionally engaging way. And so that was how we came up with SafeWill. We created a platform that allowed people to write a bespoke will in 20 minutes from their phone while sitting on the couch for $190.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned to you before, I really enjoy filling it out. It's intuitive but not basic.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's sort of that fine line of you want to make it really easy for people to use, but you also want to provide an educational platform.
Yeah.
Highlights the things that people should be thinking about. For example, pets. Your fur baby is an oft forgotten part of an estate plan. I'm glad you thought it was well integrated.
Oh, it's the type of website I like to use. Those ones that they're visually appealing, but they also don't scrimp. You can find the more detail if you want it, but having done a lot of the stuff, I'm sure you've seen it too, but to make something look simple is actually really hard.
Exactly right. That for us was the most challenging part. It was very easy to get sort of a comprehensive platform, but how do you get something that's really comprehensive, but extremely easy for someone who isn't an estates lawyer to use? And that was sort of the delicate and complicated balance that we needed to find.
I really like this hybrid model, and I feel that for most people, it offers a solution that's affordable and also helps you avoid some of those common mistakes of the DIY will kit that you may not have been aware of. There are two major limitations I see of this hybrid model, and they are firstly, not being able to add a power of attorney. This means that you're not able to add a power of attorney for either medical or financial decisions to be made on your behalf. And I know that this is an area that these hybrid models are looking to add in the future. Secondly, the ability to add a testamentary trust typically isn't available through these hybrid models. The ability to add a testamentary trust gives you some really handy solutions if you're looking at tax minimisation and asset protection. To access both of these benefits, you'd need to go down the more traditional model that we'll touch on next by going through a solicitor. The third option is the more traditional way of getting a will, which is going through a solicitor. Now, I've been using a service called LegalHub for about the last 5 years. LegalHub have a panel of solicitors that they use and put forward based on the most appropriate for what you're looking for. Their model allows you to access a quality solicitor no matter where you are in Australia at an affordable price. To give you an idea of pricing, this will start at about $1,000 for a couple and includes a power of attorney, testamentary trust, as well as a letter of wishes and storage. To give you some more information on this model, I interviewed Brant Dillon from LegalHub to share a bit more about this.
Yeah, look, we kicked off about 2015, and it's a pretty simple business model. It's about how do we bring full service, high quality legal solutions, particularly in the area of estate planning and business succession planning, to networks of advisors and accountants. So delivering it, the client's getting the same outcome, same quality of documentation, same quality of advice, but without the cost and inconvenience of having to, travel into a CBD location. And as you would know, I mean, many clients live in rural communities or live in regional areas, but even the ones that are in our major centres, most of them don't live within a 10-kilometre radius of a CBD. So it was really about the Legal Hub finding those quality law firms that operate in the space, putting a panel together, which we've done, streamlining a nice simple process that gets efficiencies for both the client, the advisor and the law firm, and then delivering that in terms of what the cost outcomes look like.
I think it's a good timing too with what's going on in the world at the moment to be able to offer a service remotely. So the cost savings are obviously beneficial, but being able to do something without having to go to a legal office is definitely beneficial as well, isn't it?
Look, it is. And we sort of started in this space probably nearly 15 years ago and had a business that was a precursor to the Legal Hub called eLawyer. And we were using at the time GoToMeeting, which was about the only sort of reliable platform back in those days, and it was a bit of a challenge to start with, because clearly getting lawyers comfortable in giving advice, in a non-face-to-face environment was the first challenge, and then obviously having advisors comfortable that their clients would adopt it. But look, it certainly did happen. I mean, 15 years down the track, and probably what this COVID pandemic has done is it's really just exploded this whole online meeting technology even further.
The whole premise of this video was to share with you the different options that are available when you're looking at your will. I hope that you'll be able to make your own decision as to which is the most appropriate for you and your family. Depending on your complexity and the budget that you have, one of these options will work best for you. But remember, any of the options that you choose is better than not having a will at all. You may not think that your situation is complex enough to warrant going to see a solicitor, or you don't have enough assets or those sorts of things as well. One thing to remember is that any insurance policies that you hold as well will form part of your estate. As Brant touched on, most of us in that case will have a pretty significant pot of assets or money that needs to be distributed should anything happen to us. Getting a will might seem like an overwhelming experience, and it can be quite complex, but with the right advice, this can be simplified and give you the peace of mind that this has been done correctly. I feel that with these new offerings, such as the hybrid models and that sort of thing, it's never been easier for us to get our will sorted out. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below.